Hey guys, my name is Daltin Klavon, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about the country of Brazil, some of the background, and some of the marketing do's and don'ts of the country. So to start with, Brazil is located in South America. Um, it's one of the largest countries in South America. This year it will be hosting the 2016 Summer Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Um, a little bit about its history. Brazil gained its independence from Portugal in 1822, and today Brazil has a little over 204 million people. They have a GDP of about 3.2 trillion annually, and their native language is Portuguese. Their national religion is Roman Catholic, and one thing about Brazil is that it is very diverse. It's about 47% white, 43% Pardo, 8% black, 1% Asian, and 1% other. Their government consists of a constitutional republic, much like here in the United States, but there is a lot more corruption and bribery that goes on in politics and the business world. Brazil ranks 69th in the world out of 174 countries as far as corruption and bribery go. That's not very good. Um, their taxation on imports and exports is very high, but somehow their private sector is growing. The kind of government owned sector is falling back, and a lot more private sector companies are starting to come forth. Some of their imports and exports, some of the big ones are cars coming from Asia, Europe, the United States, electronics, cell phones, computers, stuff like that. And then large machinery for factories down there. One of the biggest things that they import is John Deere equipment, Caterpillar equipment. So their largest exports are coffee, iron ore, soybeans. Like, who thinks of Brazil when they think of soybeans? And also oil. Some of Brazil's largest trade partners are China, the U.S., Germany, Argentina, um, and also Japan. So a little bit about Brazil's business culture. Brazil has about 7 million businesses. 99% of them are considered as small businesses. So if you and I, or you or I, was to go down there right now with a solid business plan and apply for all the licenses and stuff like that, it would probably take us anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks to actually get on our feet moving down there. There's a lot of government regulations and licenses that you have to go through in order to open up your business. A lot of people say that it is a lot easier to go down there with a Brazilian partner rather than trying to open up a business on your own, mainly because the locals, it's very hard to gain their trust. They're very domesticated and kind of picky with what they're going to buy from an outsider. Another thing that could also make it difficult on a foreigner coming in and trying to open up business is that the Brazilian government has a very strict number every year on how many foreign firms they're going to actually let in the country and open up a business. A little bit about Brazilian culture. It's very male dominated. It'd be pretty tough for a woman, unlike here in the United States, to go out and get a job in the business world or to become a successful businesswoman. One of the biggest things that runs a lot of stuff down there in Brazil is soccer. Um, this kind of goes back to gaining locals' trust again. If you can't speak their native lingo, and when it comes to soccer, it's going to be pretty tough for you to get business. When you're actually developing a marketing strategy towards the locals down there, or just Brazilians in general, a lot of them prefer a very personalized message rather than how we have it here with just mass advertising on TV all the time. You don't get too many personal sales pitches up here. They're kind of opposite. They don't bite on that kind of thing. like they do here. Also, one thing, it really helps to have documents or ads or flyers in both Portuguese and English down there. Kind of goes back to them being domesticated. If you're just going to throw an ad out in English, they don't really respect that, and it's going to be tough for you to get your business and sales going. One thing that I found kind of strange about Brazilian culture, especially in business or whatever it may be, is that eye contact is looked at as disrespectful, whereas here, eye contact is completely the opposite. It's pretty expected. You shake somebody's hand and you look them in the eye while you're doing it. One thing that if you were to go down there and open up a business, you better be used to being close to people. Their personal space is about typically half as much personal space as what we have here. They're always hugging, kissing, whether it's on the cheek or whatever, and walking around holding hands all the time. Here in the U.S., we like to have our space, and we're not like that. Another thing is that a lot of the things that I read up on, you're constantly interrupted with, in the middle of a business meeting, you could just be talking, and they could start just talking about soccer or their home life or, whatever went on the last weekend, whatever it may be. So it's quite a bit different than what we're used to here in the norms up in the United States. As far as their workplace attire and what they wear to work in a business atmosphere, it's pretty similar to here in the U.S. A shirt and tie or suit and tie, whatever it is for the occasion, they typically are dressed the same as what we are. Some of the political issues that I kind of touched on a little bit before, there's a lot of government regulations that you must go through. And again, it's pretty tough with the strict amount that the government allows in per year. Another thing I kind of hit on was corruption and bribery. A lot of this comes in the industries of insurance, gas, cigarette industries. The prices can either skyrocket or drop in a day and be completely the opposite the next day, just because of the amount of corruption that goes on down there. Those are three of the biggest industries that get affected by it. As far as Hofstede finding goes, for those of you that don't know what the Hofstede findings are, it measures the power distance in a country, individualism, uncertainty avoidance, indulgence, long-term orientation. Those are the 5 main ones. Their power distance is a lot larger than here in the U.S. They are, however, a lot less individualistic than here in the U.S. They have a lot higher uncertainty avoidance than us, so they're a little more cautious, but they do kind of indulge themselves in about the same matter that we do, whether it's, buying new clothes, going on a vacation, something like that. And they also kind of take into account long-term orientation more than we do here in the U.S., which I think kind of ties more into the uncertainty avoidance. They kind of tie it together. So, kind of to sum things up, it's pretty difficult to establish a business right away down there. You got to build up a lot of trust with the locals because they are so domesticated. You got to be personable with people. And then again, a lot of corruption in politics and the business world down there. So that can make things difficult for you if you don't have connections. And also, the last thing is, probably the biggest thing, just remember that their norms are different than ours. And if you fail to meet them, it can be very difficult